November 1979. Atari produces an arcade game known as Asteroids, which caused children across America to dump their monthly allowance of quarters into this simple 8-bit game. 40 years later, an indie game development studio known as Chimeric released Asteroids, but good. The high-octane gameplay and stunning visuals of this reimagined classic makes you forget that it's still in early access. But I think we've gotten sidetracked enough, because this video isn't a review of Nova Drift. Instead, this is all about asserting my dominance and spending copious amounts of time and energy to min-max a few data values. Welcome to the third episode of bashing my head against a brick wall to paint it red. This is Maximization. Before delving into the nitty-gritty, we need to establish the rule set of Nova Drift. It's very simple. We play as a spaceship whose sole objective is to endlessly survive while difficulty ramping enemies and celestial hazards attempt to duel us into the Shadow Realm. But we're not without defense. After killing enemies, asteroids, and using the heart of the cards, we level up, unlocking a pool of various ship, weapon, shield, and mod upgrades. Specifically, we have an assortment of 14 ship types, each with unique abilities and stats. 11 shield types with unique effects, shield powers, and abilities. 12 different weapons with different methods of scaling, ranges, damages, and DPSs. DPSIs? Let's go with DPSs. And then we have 168 different mods, each of which significantly change the gameplay. Oh god. In my pursuit to be as as efficient as possible, we need to find a way to play this game without actually playing it. I'm thinking autoclicker or hold a button with duct tape, because we know from previous videos I developed cerebral palsy when trying to code. Before jumping into which weapons and ship models to use, let's determine the best possible game start. Here you can see the difficulty modifiers, which add extra challenges to the game. And done. Now we need an optimized build path. For this I'll be using Excel, the most interesting and entertaining of the data processing tools. I started by typing out each mod and their effect so that I could generate different build paths by searching key terms. Here you can see a theoretical build path maximizing the damage for the Dying Star perk. The idea behind this build was to use the Spectre ship to become invisible to enemies while passively doing damage with Dying Star and our shield effect. At the time, this seemed really smart because if we maximize the damage in our survivability while boosting our enemy's avoidance, we theoretically could survive infinite waves all without touching the controller. The problem with this build came in the form of damage. Since the radius of Dying Star didn't extend to the whole screen, we couldn't always deal damage to our enemies, and the knockback from the enemy attacks would often push us into the corners of the screen, where we were forced to chill out. Because we're a Dying Star, so we're getting cold. Oh, whatever. This allowed several enemies to stack up on the screen, and even though we could eventually clear this, we still couldn't survive past wave 100 due to the big boss, Seraph. It was back to the drawing board. I had several fun ideas to try out, but we hit a stopgap. You see, the whole concept of this video was for me to be as lazy as possible, but I found myself incapable of setting the controller down as each run took long periods of time to set up, and I noticed that when I did put the controller down, I would die soon after. No. Oh god. Each time I failed, I would pause and wonder what chain of events caused my life to be endless suffering. Why did I have 14 hours of misaligned recorded footage to edit? What's the point? And thus, like God's semen raining down from above, I discovered my purpose. It wasn't steadily rising from the bottom and overcoming adversity to reach a sweet, finished product. No, it was having the game grovel at my feet, begging for forgiveness while I neglect its polished game mechanics by not so much as touching my controller. I've never opened up Cheat Engine faster in my life, so I went at it. I spent several hours trying to figure out how to level up my ship. I didn't want infinite health, nor infinite damage. All I wanted was the ability to utilize the game mechanics to its max by having enough upgrade points to spend without whittling away my life. But once again, I failed. I tried reading the numeric integers in Cheat Engine to find out which data values controlled my upgrade points. No matches. I thought it wasn't an integer, so I tried to find values that were increasing and decreasing when my experience changed. No matches. I tried looking up a cheat table to alter my levels, but only found ones that gave infinite health and damage. No matches. And then I took a shot in the dark. Maybe the developers left in a debugging mode that allowed me to alter the game state. And huzzah! By pressing delete while in game, we enter debug mode, allowing us to manipulate our levels. Let's reevaluate the rules. I would be allowed to start the game at level 100 with infinite mod rerolls to guarantee the perfect mod selection, but I'm not allowed any wild mods as they're really OP at high levels. The only question now is it possible to go infinite waves at level 100 using only non-wild mods without touching the controller? Back using Excel, I formulate another build idea. Using Apotheosis to phase through enemy collision and using the ship type Firefly, I'm able to constantly fly through enemies and deal massive burn damage. We easily make it through Seraph, aka wave 100, but the problem is what comes after. You see, we are never able to fully recover our hull and shields, and eventually are overrun by Big Daddy Juggernaut on wave 225. By this point, you've probably noticed a lack of weapon use. That's because most of the weapons require massive investment in the mod tree to use. But there is a weapon that destroys all: Salvo. Salvo has innate homing and synergizes with 90% of the weapon upgrade tree. By unlocking Barrage to continuously fire and using the ship type Corsair to double projectile count and shoot on both sides of the ship, we create an absolute beast of a weapon combo. But this combo also falls short as soon as it can't kill an enemy. In this case, on wave 253, it runs against a shield with a revenge type mechanic and we die. You might have wondered what this little guy is doing. This is known as a construct and is used as the primary type of DPS in this next build. You see, there are 38 construct type mods, the most variety of any mod type in the game. Speccing into constructs, hull, and weapon upgrades, we're able to have a massive fleet thanks to the carrier ship's unique ability, and have our cute little ally fire massive shots of homing destruction. We easily make it past Seraph, way past the mid 200s, it's looking good. This might actually be able to go infinite. No, not you again. Somebody stop him! So we ended with a wave count of 330. I don't see a lot of other ways to improve this run. Our HP is just too low to compensate the damages in the higher levels, and I've already capped the amount of HP upgrades possible, and Carrier has one of the highest base HP stats. For now, the record will have to stand at wave 330. Oh. Oh my god. Yes.
Oh no.
His health bar goes off the screen.
We need more power. Nice. Oh my.
Oh wow, Leviathan is OP at high levels. He's an absolute chonker, elongating as the game progresses. He's got crazy damage reduction and global damage amplification. My final score ended on wave 625. Think you can beat my score? Subscribe and share the video. I'm trying to stop being poor, am I right? Think I can draw a phi symbol? No, that's a dick and balls.